Hi guys, it's raining now. It's not very nice. As Peter Kay calls it, you know that rain that it drips on you, but loads of it hits you at once, so it soaks you. Yeah, me and Alf, we go on. I really hope this video can stay on because this is one I really wanted to make and persevere. So, the title of this one is Life is Not Fair, So Live With It. See what I did there? I was listening to something that Tyg Middleton, another channel that I like, shout out to him. I really think that he's got a good message, Mayo man, but we won't hold it against him. GAA fan as well, wears the jersey. Nah, I love the people in the west of Ireland, they're good people. Better than some dubs in some places. But no, all Irish people I stand with. We all need to be more united, you know. Just a little joke. Shouldn't be doing that. But Thomas Sowell, great man. I really like Thomas Sowell's work. He's a genius. He's a social philosopher and economist, and he's an African American man. And he never uses that at all and actually condemns African American people who say that they're being misfairly treated and life isn't fair. And he goes, yeah, so what? You gotta fucking get on with it. You know? Life certainly wasn't fair for him, but he didn't complain. And he's very successful as a result. And he talks about, like, you know, people being handed stuff now because everyone should have equal opportunity. And I mean, of course, like, there's a good argument for that, obviously, but what he talks about is equality versus equity, meaning that due to no fault of our own, we're all born into different circumstances. So say, for instance, I could be born as an impoverished young child in Mumbai through no fault of my own, you know, I was just born there. Or I could be born to the royal family, you know what I mean? Where I'd never have to worry about a meal or anything. Everything's just handed to me, basically. I mean, you can say what you want about the royal family, everything is handed to them. But I could be impoverished, and that's not my fault. But tough shit. Gotta live with it, you know what I mean? I use India as an example because of how poor it is and how many poor children there are in India. God love them. But when you want to use Thomas Sowell's example, like, he was born in 1930 in Charlotte, North Carolina, and at the height of segregation in the deep south. Come on, get out, come on. So he was born in times of racial segregation, right? He said, in fact, it was so segregated, just to give you an example, as a child he didn't even know that blonde was a hair colour because he never saw a white person. His mother worked as a housemaid, which I imagine means she worked for a wealthy white family in the deep south. Would you class North Carolina as the deep south? I'm presuming you would. Anywhere south of Virginia, I class as the deep south, so you can correct me on that if you want. But he grew up impoverished. There was no electricity, no running water, no hope really, to be honest. Didn't seem like a very pleasant existence. His dad died when he was very young. A lot of African American men grow up without a father, sadly, either being abandoned or, look, you can say what you want, but a lot of times those men have a lot of trauma. They're not able to cope, and then they abandon the family, or they go out and try their damnedest for the family and they get killed, you know. But like I talked about in a previous video, in 1965 Jim Crow laws were finally outlawed, so Thomas Sowell would have been 35 when that happened, so I'd say he certainly experienced it. But you see how he didn't see any white people, didn't know anything, just hated them. They were just the oppressor, and it's safer to stay among your own people. There you venture into the wealthier white areas, which you can imagine had running water and electricity around the area anyway, because I know in some parts of West Virginia a lot of people grew up without it. Appalachia, you know, that's majority Caucasian white people, and they were impoverished. So, and he talks about that. He says poverty isn't just down to race. There's a whole heap of reasons that he says it. He never complains, he never looks for a handout. He moved from Charlotte, North Carolina to New York, Harlam, New York, which I spoke about on this channel. Impoverished area. Stay in now, good lad. Come on. Oh, come on. Good boy. He grew up in abject poverty. Was often fighting in the family. Get a move on, come on. Come on, Alf, you can't be that lazy. You've got to lose a few pounds, as do I. We're both on a diet. Good boy, come on. We gotta go. Good lad. Come on, we're going up here. Alf, no. Come on. Haven't even gone for 10 minutes yet. Jeez, he's getting very lazy, I swear. I'm not giving in. I'm usually too soft on him. Not anymore. It's for his own good. Life is not fair. But point that I'm making is he moved, and the Great Migration, as they called it, the African American migration, to avoid racial discrimination and segregation. You know, segregation might have kept him safe to a degree, but certainly there was discrimination still faced. And he just got on with it, and he spoke about how, you know, tests and standards were dropped because it was unfair. Like, say if you go to a private school and you get a better education than he did, which he would have done in Harlem, you know, a very disadvantaged area, well then you're going to naturally do better on the SATs. You know, no one in his family had gone past elementary school. I think he said they were delighted that he got past the 7th grade. Not too familiar with the education system in the States, but I think you've got elementary school, which is like primary school over here, then you've middle school, and then you have high school. Please confirm that for me, any Americans in the comments. Good lad, good boy. Now we're going, good boy. We got him eventually. Gonna get you into shape. Get me into shape too. Fucking hypocrite that I am. I'm getting there. I actually outran a few fellas in training during the week, and I was like, you boys need to get fitter because I'm not in great shape. If I can run for longer than you, we got a problem. A few of our seconds players who should be pushing to get in the firsts, and there we go. You know, we want people to want to achieve stuff, and that's the whole point Thomas Sowell makes. It's like, we didn't get the same opportunities, so like we're not being prepared to score very highly on the SATs, you know, like a wealthy family would get. But tough shit, gotta do it. Do you want to just be a nobody, or do you want to be something in life? And he talks about a teacher, Miss Simon, and I thought this story was great. She drove standards. It's like, spell things correctly. And I deal with people who are lecturers, who shite on about their degrees and how intelligent they are, and they can't even be bothered to spell an email correctly or a message when you've got all these spell checks now, you know. And Thomas Sowell said that his one of his close friends who we hadn't seen in a while, and him, they both said that their secretaries always joked about how they'd read through their work because they have to spell check, and they said they never got anything wrong. And he's like, you'd know you were taught by Miss Simon. He said if you misspelled the word in class, she'd make you do it 50 times on top of homework you already had, and then I'm sure their families were not fucking peachy that drives standards. That makes you have pride in your work. How many people are lacking that now? You know, versus some rich prick who has everything handed to them. He didn't. Did he look for a handout? No. He had more pride in himself. He worked as a delivery man. He was in the Korean War. He got off his arse and he did something about it. You know, life isn't fair, and he talks about you could be born disabled. This one definitely jumped out at me. Like, I was born autistic, and sometimes I think, you know, how much easier life would be if I wasn't. But I think in a different way to a lot of people, and I've pushed myself a lot more than a lot of people I meet who take everything for granted. Like, I have fucking panic attacks sometimes in shops. They never have to worry about that. Some people do, yeah, but that's something that's unique that a lot of people wouldn't even think about. You know, I'm looking at moving abroad now, which could be a very real thing. I thought there's no way that's going to happen, but now that it actually could, I'm shitting myself. I'm getting nervous. So I'm thinking, will I be able to do it? Can I do it? Well, I'm more confident now in my ability, knowing that I have lived on my own now at least once, and so I've got the belief now that I can do it. I'm not as nervous, and I think, well, fuck it, what's the alternative? Stay at home and never achieve anything? Yeah, I'm going to be scared regardless, but also excited. Big opportunity, you know. Life wasn't fair on me when I was born. My dad left when I was only 5. Then he came back, then he left again. I just thought, why couldn't I have a good male in the family? But guess what? Didn't give in to it. Got a college degree. Now, what I'm getting with that, I don't know, but hopefully something in Denmark. Lord knows I fucking tried hard enough. Definitely have. I didn't take no for an answer. If lecturers weren't being fair, I called it out. I said, you're not listening to me, you're not being fair. I put in enough work here, especially a lot of times when they were making arguments against, you know, predicted grade, because that was unprecedented times when, you know, you get a predicted grade and people are like, what are you actually basing that off? Nobody really knew, and I felt like they were being very harsh. And I was like, no, this is what I meant. That's not on. Like, I'm not having that. Whereas a lot of students would just leave it and not bother their arse, you know, not challenge it. I was like, fuck that. This is my future. I'm challenging it all day. I never gave up, and I wasn't nearly as intelligent as some of the people in my course, but I stuck at it. I thought to myself, I'm getting a free education here, which is more than a lot of people, and I pushed myself through it. Where so many people didn't appreciate that, and were like, this is hard, I don't like it, I'm giving up. I didn't, because I'm used to things not being easy. So that stood to me, and it stood to Thomas Sowell big time. Look where he is now. He's hugely successful, 94 years old, going strong. There's a great message in it, you know, where he talks about fairness is bullshit, you know. Everyone should have equal opportunity. Well, then nobody ever pushes themselves. I agree, everybody should get an opportunity, but guess what? Loads of people did get an opportunity and didn't give a shit. They didn't push themselves. They didn't appreciate that a free education, a free college education, isn't a given, isn't a granted. You get a grant for it. But you know, not everyone gets that. And yet there were so many people just dropping out. I was there thinking, my parents will have to pay then if I want to go back. I'm getting a free education. I'm fucking taking this opportunity. And I did. And I'm very proud of myself for that. I'm not going to apologise for that. I am very proud. So I should be. But I was there thinking how unfair life was. How mentally ill I was. How unfair that was. Come on. Good boy. Come on. You can piss and cry about it all you want, but come on. Most people just drive and it's not an issue. I struggle with that. That's something I don't like. It's something I'm not very good at. Not very comfortable with. Looking for the sheep. Here we go. Good boy. Good lad. But also playing rugby, I was there thinking life isn't fair. This is such bullshit. Wasn't fair. But guess what? I stopped wasting my time with it. I thought, okay, well, I've played it. I've gotten sick. But I can coach it. I can help other people out. Sometimes they get on my nerves, but especially recently, you know, with guys not pushing themselves in fitness. If you make everything too easy for everyone, they'll never push themselves because they don't know what it's like to try. And you got to get that mindset from an early age, you know. If you always say no when there's any hurdle or obstacle in your way, you'll never push yourself. And I'm actually starting to get very grateful about all the challenges I have had in life that other people take for granted. Because were it not for that, I wouldn't know the meaning of pushing yourself. Whereas now, my mum always gives out to me and says, you need to take a breather. You know, like, you need to stop pushing yourself. How many parents would actually say that? Because it's usually not done now. While I can be a moody, argumentative prick, I can be a miserable bollocks. Fuck off. I know the value of pushing yourself. So important, guys. We all need to do it. I think Thomas Sowell is someone that you should all check out if you haven't already. Great guy, and fair play to Tyg Middleton for sending that on. Really appreciate that, and best of luck on your channel, mate. I hope it grows. Got a lot of really good points, so a good shout out to you. Happy Saturday, guys. Iha Saturn. Slán go fáil. See you next one.